All right. So, dear Libra, that's you. This is Tarot Illumination with your singles mini love and relationship report for the December-January transition holiday season type time. And uh, so it's in the middle of the month coming out. Sure. Okay, I'm sorry. It's late. But anyway, please you do the routine. Watch your sun, moon, and rising. All three videos if you have to. And then reinterpret as necessary, however you want. Make it your reading. Also, with these little mini readings, please do the stop, start, pause, rewind as you need to. And if you have to rewatch them, and integrate these questions more deeply into the report. Okay? Cards were already well shuffled in advance, but I'd like to go to the last second so that you're a witness. Then we're going to cut and then spread and then read. Okay? And I feel like I've forgotten to say something, but it's okay. I'm sure you'll figure it out. It's probably something to do with the planets, but I forgot. You can watch the videos about the planets or the other reports. Here we go. All right. So this would be you, for real, the type of energy, love energy that you're radiating. And this is what if. Like, well, what if so-and-so could show up? What would they be like? And this would be like, well, what would the relationship be like? And this would be like, well, what are the prospects of the relationship? Okay, pretty straightforward. And then, again, it's all conditional. It's all what if. It's all in the understanding that you are radiating the energy of relationship at all times in one form or another. And simply through the laws of attraction, you would attract this. Okay? And so let's have a look down here. This is what I think of as the weather, circumstantial energy. And you, Libra, of course, you're going to make the most of it. You know, anybody would. And you have, okay, all right. So, if I don't want to say, oh, this is the Libra card. No, I don't want to do that. But Libra, it might be that you're in a circumstantial energy right now, whether you know it or not, where there's big issues at stake regarding relationship. Either you're aware of it or not, but the energy of decisions is going on somewhere in your world regarding these very profound, significant relationships. If there's something coming into being, or if there's something that was finished and now there's a big hole over here and you need relationship. Libras, you are the sign of relationship. And it's almost like without a relationship, you feel like, well, what's the point? What's my life? And the thing is about I feel like about Libra energy as well is that they love harmony and balance so much that they often end up in situations where they deliberately avoid anything that's awkward and not working just in order to, go along to get along, to keep the harmony and the balance, rather than having to decide what needs to be decided in very thick, challenging, heavy, uncomfortable situations. So the whole idea for Libra of being put in a situation or circumstances where big decisions are in play, that could be very disturbing for a Libra. Okay, but it could also be very, very good, because then you have to start figuring, like, wow, is this the real thing? Am I going to go for broke here? Am I looking to go for broke, or I just want to fling, or what's going on? Because with the Lover's card, it's kind of like, well, if so-and-so shows up, it's either going to be them or not. If it's them, it's the full deal. You know, it's love me, love my dog. In other words, there's you being Libra, and then so-and-so shows up, and they are the epitome of everything that you love or want. But there's some serious baggage. What are you going to do? See what I'm getting at? Anyway, let's have a look. What's going on? Okay, well, you're seeing like consequences happening and unfolding almost perhaps in front of you in ways that you might not have expected. And with the Three of Wands here, I'm feeling that it's almost like consequential. In other words, if you have been, let's say, unaware of this type of energy around you, where you might have been living blissfully in some form or way or another, and now you're in a pool of energy where big decisions are at stake, profound awakenings are at stake, in the energy of the most important thing for you, a deeply loving relationship, it puts you in a position of realizing, whoa, maybe I created all this unwittingly. Maybe I'm seeing my destiny unfold in ways that I had never expected or wanted, but there it is. It's happening anyway, and for better or worse. So there's no indication of here for better or worse. It's just that there's a lot of energy of consequence here. There's a lot of energy of like, well, what happens if you do take full ownership of all your decisions? And what happens if you just like go along according to, let's say, fate or the roles that you play or whatever? Either way, events unfold, and what we would call fate comes at you in terms of like, oh, well, there it is. Well, what did I expect? Or I wanted this, but now I'm getting that. What do I do now? Oh, wow, I'm getting exactly what I deserve. That's awesome. I can see it happening. I can see the potential here. Awesome. We don't know yet in that reading. Let's have a look. Okay, I think we had this in another report. Page of Cups here. So you might attract someone, perhaps in a way that you deserve, someone who's actually very sweet and kind of innocent and with all the best of intentions, and they might not actually know what they're doing in this situation. They might be like the sweetest thing you could possibly imagine, and that's exactly what you want. And they just show up, and all of a sudden, like, oh, wow, that's a big deal. There they are, right there. That's beautiful. And you recognize that as love, as a sweet and innocent, kind and pure love with a lot of potential for the future, to the point where it could be the real deal. Like some people would say, well, are you guys going to get married or what? Or when are you going to get married? Or can you handle this? Can you guys handle the whole idea of, like, in your innocence? Can you handle the whole idea of that you're going to be fully exposed to everyone else, to each other's doo-doo? And that's not fun for everybody. Most people just want the good stuff in relationships. They don't want to deal with all the messes and the turbulence and the evolutionary phases and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of sweetness and innocence here, but the background going on here is that there's some very deep rumblings going on, like what's actually happening. And is this a bigger deal than you had ever anticipated? In other words, are you discovering that you are very innocent and you've got someone innocent? Or you're attracting someone innocent? And then all of a sudden it becomes kind of a big deal. And then you realize you might be out of your depth. Who knows? Let's have a look at the relationship itself. Yeah, it might be like a total optical illusion. It might be coming to a realization that if so-and-so is here, and even with their best of intentions, it might be that this relationship would, let's say, expose everything that's not working in a relationship dynamic. In other words, the relationship that could show up, that could be very profound and consequential for you, Libra, and it's happening just as you deserve because of, like, your own wishes coming true. But like they say, you have to be careful what you wish for, and you might have invoked this or brought this in, and it just arrives, and then you get everything that comes with the wish, which means in this naivety and innocence here, everything that comes with it. So, which could expose, like, let's say, the naivety and innocence here in ways that, I don't want to say fog, but more like there are perhaps misunderstandings or illusions or optical illusions, or some people see this as like delusions or falsehoods or mysteries of not knowing what's really going on. In some ways, it could be very beautiful. It could be like a wonderful fantasy relationship. It could be like a dream come true relationship. It could be like, oh my gosh, this is what I've ever always wanted, and I'm just absolutely drunk with love right now. Maybe this is the real deal. But my feeling for you, Libra, is that what's more likely to happen is that you would be attracting a potential significant other here who might have issues of being a bit out there, which would, let's say, put the relationship in a state of like, what is going on here? Like who, like Libra is saying, like, who are you? Who are you really? Like, well, I'm just me. I'm just me being me. And I just met you. I just found you. Like, are you interested? I'm interested in you. It seems like I'm what you wished for. And then the relationship, if it progresses and evolves and turns into something, it turns into a realization that you might have been out of your head when this happened, or they might have been out of their head. And it's happening anyway. In some ways, it's very beautiful, but it can also be very, let's say, disorienting, to the point where you might not really know what's going on. You might not understand what's going on. And so that makes you extremely vulnerable, Libra, to, let's say, making erroneous decisions. Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it with this potential significant other? Okay. So it might be just the most perfect thing you could ever imagine. And maybe it takes you to a place where, like it is a dream come true, where you've got the sweetheart that you want, and they are all of that and more, and it's kind of happening in front of your face, like a weird, like, potted plant that you forgot you planted, and all of a sudden it starts blossoming and blooming and creating and glowing right there in front of you, and you start to appreciate this person, perhaps as a reflection of yourself. And maybe you start to see in them your own awesomeness and your own beauty, because the relationship is, let's say, sprouting and blossoming in this way, even though it comes through, let's say, strange and unusual processes or circumstances, unconventional. So I hope you get something out of this. I hope you can make sense out of it and reinterpret however you need. I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to wish you all the best, Libra. Have a super holiday season, and we'll see you again soon. Bye. Bye-bye.